as God called us, I think there were two things that went hand in hand. God's agenda, I think what happened was that God showed us his agenda, and he loves the orphan and the widow. And through that, I think that what happened was that God said, seek first my kingdom and all will be added. And we went out to actually just have a focus on changing the lives of those children that were lying in cots in orphanages. And through that, God really started to grow our children as well in his kingdom at the same time. So I think that's sort of what happened. The two things went hand in hand, with family and with going out. And we would go into the orphanage regularly as a family, but Robert had an office in the Shanghai State Orphanage, so he was based in the orphanage for his whole work day. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that was an interesting concept. I had this office, and I had some staff that we were training, and I was very conscious that some people didn't seem to want me to be there.
So I can imagine. Yeah.
I said to the guy that was sent to work with me from the government, I asked him one day, what do people think about me being here? And he said, well, probably a third really don't care. They're only coming in here to get their work done and get their money. A third, the older guard, they really don't want you here. But the younger people really want to learn and change. And I was very conscious that I wasn't allowed to eat in the canteen. I had to eat on my own in my office. And so often at lunchtime, because I'd been previously a soccer player, I took a football in to some of the older boys, and I kind of recognized these boys weren't going to get families, and they'd had quite a tough life. And wouldn't it be good if we could spend a bit of time playing soccer? Well, actually, they were quite good, and I got permission to train them, as a team. And we got my old club to send out a uniform with the shirt and shorts and socks, and we drilled them quite well and got them to a place where I think Liverpool came out and spent a bit of time training them as well. And so we entered them in the summer into the Shanghai Schools Trophy. And quite remarkably, these boys went through all the rounds, and the tension got bigger and bigger in the newspaper. They got to the final, and they played the American school in the final and won 5-2, which was phenomenal. I never forget the mayor of Shanghai coming down to present the cup, and his words being very pragmatic. Chinese are very pragmatic. He said, all your life you have been losers. Today you're winners. And I thought, wow, that's
awesome. What a great image.
Well, the next day, I just finish off. The next day, knock on my door. There was Madam Wong, this very fearsome lady who's in control of the whole orphanage, stood there with all the staff with my bowl with my name on it, which meant I was accepted.
You're in.
I'm in. I can go to the canteen.
Congratulations. Okay. So now there's this film. It's a documentary. It's called Children of Shanghai. So, Elizabeth, what's the premise of this film? What did the filmmakers want to do with respect to this story? Because I know that there's a tracking of progress that is occurring, right?
Well, absolutely. What the film shows is the outcome of children's lives when they're placed into loving families. When we met these children, we didn't know which ones we were going to meet. We'd placed 100 children in 1998 into families. It was the first time that we had done this family placement. And so we wanted to go back and find some children from the first 100 children to find out what had happened in their lives. This is 20 years on. And we were shocked ourselves. We were shocked at the miracle that God has done in these children's lives. Total transformation. They're so whole and rounded and fulfilled adults because of the love of a mother and father and the expression of family life. God set up family life as the way to raise children, and you just see the difference that it makes. It was astonishing. Some of the things that these children are involved in now as adults is astonishing.